When my wife and I got married, I was making $10 an hour as a construction labor, and my wife was making $8 an hour working at a gym. We essentially had no money. So if you're wondering how to manage your money on a low income, not only am I gonna show you exactly how, I know exactly what it's like to try to manage money when you don't feel like there's any there. A lot of people think if they don't make a lot of money, they don't need a budget. Wrong. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 things you can do to manage your money even if you're not making a lot of it. Because making low income doesn't mean you don't need management skills. It actually means you need more. If you're going to manage money on a low income, the very first thing you do is you need a system and a budget. You need something that allows you to see how much money you make and how much money you spend every single month. There's 2 main things that fill in a budget: the expenses and the income. And until you list out all the ways you earn and all the ways you spend, you really can't see how much money it takes to help you survive every month. If you're living on low income and you're living on maybe even fixed income, management principles like creating a budget become that much more important. So having a system like a YNAB or a You Need a Budget app where you could download it to your phone and track all of your expenses. What makes that app so powerful is you can take pictures of your receipts, you can upload information into the app, you can make sure you're tracking everything. But the truth is, managing money on low income means you need a tighter budget with more stipulations and more discipline than if you make a lot of income. So don't think if I'm not making a lot of money, I don't need a budget. You do. You need an even better budget. You need a budget that can really help you think through every single dollar, where it should go and where it shouldn't go. But not only creating the budget, you gotta have a discipline to stick to it. You gotta have the discipline to tell yourself no, even when you really want to tell yourself yes. I remember the first budget my wife and I created. It was very, very difficult to stick to it because I wasn't used to sticking to a budget. I was used to, if I went to the North Face store, I saw a coat I wanted, I pulled out my credit card, I bought it. The problem with that is sooner or later, you're in a lot of debt and you don't have money to pay that debt off. We need to stick to the budget once we've created the budget. And when you're trying to stick to a budget, it might mean taking some radical steps in order to make that happen. It might mean if you're going out and you're tempted to stop and buy food, you leave your credit cards at home, you just bring your driver's license with you, and that's it. It might mean that you start making decisions like that and you close out accounts and you close out credit cards and cut them up because you're trying to make drastic decisions to create drastic changes in your finances. Creating a budget is a really important thing, but we gotta stick to it. And you gotta know your weak spots. If your weak spot is going into the gas station and loading up on snacks, then the goal is don't go to the gas station unless you need gas and always pay at the pump. The truth is you have to know yourself, where you tend to fall, and make sure you build some accountability around that so you can really stick to your budget. Some of the richest people in the world have budgets because even though you're looking at a low income, even when people gain high income, they still live on a budget because it helps them manage their money and make sure it's funneling to the places that give them real value. The second thing you can do to manage your money on a low income is cut on food. This is one of the places I see money leak out of households a lot. Not just on groceries, on buying things that either go bad or we don't really eat, but also going out to eat, stopping at gas stations, snacks. Food is expensive. It's one of the biggest line items we have. The thing that makes it difficult is everybody needs to eat. So under the guise of everybody needs to eat, we really can let our finances get out of hand with the amount of money we spend on food. So it's really important, if you're trying to manage your money on a low income, track your expenses, especially in that food category. See how much money you're spending every month on food and try to bring that back a bit so you're not letting so much money go out of your finances on food. One thing you can do after you create your budget is only go to the grocery store with cash. That means you're only buying food with money you actually have. Putting things on credit cards have proven that you'll spend 15 to 20% more with using a credit card because the pain receptors in your brain when you spend money with cash versus credit card is much different. We experience much more pain internally when we hand over cash than a credit card. And now with Apple Pay and things on our phone, the receptors have even lightened up more. So we're distancing ourselves from the pain of spending our money. So we're not really feeling it when we spend because it doesn't feel like it's really coming out of our account. But when we're handing over dollars, it really feels like we're coming out of our account. So the truth is, if you have to go to the grocery store with cash, that's what we're gonna do. But we can really cut on food and really take a big step in our finances. Along with food, Definitely cut back or completely eliminate eating out for a time, because eating out is really expensive. And then once your income goes up and you get your money management underway and your systems are in place and you can build a budget for eating out, then we can go eat out once or twice a month and really enjoy it. But the truth is, cutting that out will really allow you to cut money back and have more money to save and really invest eventually. Before I go on to the next few tips, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification. Our goal is to grow people that understand money, that want to invest and grow their financial future so they can help people. That's what this channel is all about. So make sure you subscribe, join our family, and continue building financial freedom. Let's get back to the content. The third thing you can do is downsize on your housing. If you're in a big house, see if you can sell that house, move into a little bit smaller house, a little bit smaller apartment to cut back on expenses. Again, the goal here is to cut those expenses so we have more money to play with at the end of the month, or at least make sure all of our bills are covered. One of the things my wife and I did early on and have done throughout our life 3 different times is what's called house hacking. That's buying a duplex and living in one half and renting the other half out. You can get a lot of duplexes that are 3 bedrooms with a yard. That usually will accommodate at least smaller families and allow you to not have to pay a mortgage for a little bit of a time. This isn't a lifelong solution. It's a temporary solution to allow money to be freed up so we can continue to pay off debt, eliminate all of that, save some money, and start investing. The fourth thing you can do to manage that money on a low income is sell your vehicle and drive something a little bit cheaper. If you have a car payment, let's get rid of that car payment, sell the car, drive a car that we can pay cash for, or we can get into a really low payment that does the trick. I'm not saying drive a car that's not reliable or drive a car that's not safe, but that's our stipulation. Let's get a safe, reliable car and something that we can save money on, and again, have more money to save, more money to invest. A lot of people have a lot of money in car payments, and that's one of the dumbest things you can do in your finances. You don't need a car payment right now. Later on, when you have the money, if you want a car payment, go to town. But right now, our goal is to limit the expenses so we can increase the saving, increase the investing until the earning increases, and all of this can be ramped up in an even bigger and better way. But on your low income that you're making currently, it's time to make sure we cut all those expenses back so we can have more money to save, more money to invest. About 10 years ago, my wife and I downsized to one car. We both used to drive a car. We both used to have a car at our house. We sold one and we lived with one car. When she needed it, she took it. When I needed it, I took it. And yes, for a while it wasn't comfortable. We had schedule clashes and had to figure things out. But guess what? Now that we're in a place where we could afford the other car, we don't even need it. We don't want it. And so the idea here is to create a life around not spending money on things that don't add value. I didn't know having a second car really didn't add value to me till I didn't have it, and I figured out, wow, it actually is more valuable to not have a second car to remember to do the oil changes. That's more valuable to me. But again, without cutting, I never would have figured that out. So downsizing your car or eliminating one could be a great way to save money and really start ramping up that income. Because if you can save $200-300 a month, that's a lot of money over the course of a year that you can reallocate to other line items on your budget. And the fifth thing you can do to manage money on a low income is cut 100% of TV-related expenses. And what you want to do is invest that time in learning, reading, podcasts, things that fill your brain. I fully understand. Very few people want to talk about mindset. And you might even turn this video off because I mentioned mindset. But let me tell you something. The top performers in the world spend more money and time on mindset than anything else because they understand it's the limit to all success. So if you cut out all TV and stop watching people that have already been successful and have already made it, and instead turn that in on yourself and start focusing a lot on your education, you won't have a low income for very long. Because everybody can create a skill, be a freelancer, start making money in another way, create a side hustle, ramp up that income so you no longer have that low income. But it often takes learning and education. So cut all the TV-related experiences, get the TV out of your house, cut the streaming services, and spend all that time that you used to spend on TV reading, listening to podcasts, watching videos, and learning. The truth of the matter is, I want you to grow in your finances, and without changing this, you ain't ever going to change your finances. Let's replace the TV time with education that shapes us and can give us a true financial future. I also want to give you my free ebook called The 7 Secrets of Managing Money and Creating Wealth. If you click the link in the description, you're going to be taken to a page that will give you a free book that will help you understand what are my best 7 tips on creating wealth and managing your money. Click that link. I'll see you in the next video.